Number 5. Andreas van Reis. From debt to becoming a successful businessman. Andreas van Reis was born in 1741 in Holland, and when he and his family moved to Maastricht in 1787, Andreas was in debt. In Sweden, there were now the Jewish regulations, a special exemption legislation which prohibited all Jewish settlement outside Stockholm, Gothenburg or Norrköping. Despite the ban, the family arrived in Maastricht from Borås, where Andreas worked as a tobacco factory master. The children's birthplaces testify to a travelling life. The son Olaf was born in Närkirk, the daughter Hannah in Copenhagen, the son Moses in Jönköping, the son Joseph in Alingsås, and the son Benjamin in Borås. At Maastricht, Andreas van Reis managed to clear his debts and eventually became a successful businessman. He bought a property and eventually became an important craftsman. In 1794, the privileges of the free port were removed, and thus also the opportunity to become part of Swedish society and an independent citizen of Maastricht. This affected the conditions for the city's merchants in one fell swoop. Instead of business freedom, Maastricht would now once again be covered by the guild regulations. Only those who belonged to a certain guild were allowed to work in that occupation. The Jews on Maastricht were now forced to apply to the crown for permission to trade. Many families had already left Maastricht. Those who still remained tried in vain to get permission to stay. The bourgeoisie and the trading society wanted to get rid of the competition that the Jews' business activities entailed and force the Jews to leave Maastricht. The Jews were accused of having contributed in various ways to scams, which in turn led the Jews to request a certificate from the magistrate to defend themselves against these accusations. The magistrate considered that the accusations against the Jews were unfounded, but at the same time opposed the Jewish families staying and running activities in the city. Andreas van Reis was one of the few who was allowed to stay at Maastricht after the abolition of the free port. Together with the calico printer, Gabriel Schlesinger, Andreas was granted an exemption to continue his business as a trader and manufacturer on the island. After the trading society appealed the king's decision, all Jews, except Andreas and Gabriel, were forced to move from the island. In 1807, Andreas, his wife Sarah, and 3 of their sons were the only Jews who lived on Maastricht. By then, he was recognised as a skilled craftsman. He was a grain trader and ran both a tobacco factory, a herring oil processing plant, and a herring salting plant. 2 years later, Van Reis died and was buried at Gothenburg's Jewish cemetery. His wife Sarah then lived for several years as a widow and died in Gothenburg.